Hi everyone, Tiffany Ashton with ClinEssentials. Today I am here to speak about study transitions. So if you are a CRA or a CTM and you have just inherited a new study, I definitely highly suggest that you download our free resource on study transitions. Now, you may have just been assigned a new study, and that's because either a CRA is leaving the company or a CTM is leaving the company, going out on medical leave, or maybe even going to take on another study within the company. So whatever that scenario is, you want to make sure you get with that outgoing person and download as much as you can from them, because they have been in the study doing the day-to-day, and as you're stepping in, you need to know what they know. So most companies have a study transition checklist, and it's 10 pages of, do you have access to this system? And did you cover this? And do you cover this and this and this? And those are great. But if you need a more streamlined approach, and maybe you only have one meeting with that person before they leave, you need to get right down to the key information. And that's what our free resource gives you. Those key questions to ask in a study transition when you may only have one call with that outgoing person. So just a couple of questions from this to ask during your study transition call. You want to ask, what is the stage of the study? Is it in startup? Is it in maintenance? Is it in closeout? Where is it? Because that will dictate if you have an upcoming investigators meeting to plan for as a CTM, or if you have to do the first SIV as the CRA. So you really want to know what is coming down the pipeline for you. You also want to know about upcoming timelines, like I mentioned. Is it a database lock? Is there a final CSR approaching? All of those things, very key. You want to know about the meetings that you have to regularly attend. Do you have sponsor calls, internal calls, site calls, any of those things? You want to get all of those invites on your calendar, because when that person that's outgoing leaves, you're expected to take their place, and you have to be present at all of those calls that they were attending previously. You also want to ask them, were they doing anything for those calls? Were they creating slides, an agenda, meeting minutes, any of those things? You want to make sure that you have those templates and the sender list, like who to email the completed slides to before the meeting. All of those things are key to ask. You want to ask about, if you're a CRA, any problem sites, any sites that you need to keep an eye on, those that have more protocol deviations, more SAEs, those that need 2 days on site all the time, those that have a lot of turnover. Those are some good key questions to ask. You also want to ask about any monthly reports. So if you're a CTM and you have to do monthly reports to the sponsor, maybe it's budgets, forecasts, invoice review, any of those things, you want to ask about that. And you also want to confirm the systems that you need to obtain that information and download those reports to. You also need to ask about any training, any study-specific training that you need, any SOPs that are specific to the sponsor, anything that you need to know about the training. So on our study transition checklist that we have one for the CTMs and one for the CRAs. So if you're a CRA, you want to download that one and ask the questions specific to CRAs. And if you're a CTM, you want to do the same. Download the one for CTM and ask those specific questions. Because between the two, there are some similarities, but there are some details that as a CTM you're going to ask versus as a CRA you're going to ask these sets of questions. So hopefully those two resources are helpful for you. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks. Bye.